Okay, welcome to week one, our kickoff week of finding a better job. My name is Kevin Stanfield, and this week we really set an intention for our job search. And if we are quick to observe as we move through these modules, you may realize that you can find a better job in your current employment situation as well. Sometimes it's not as easy as finding another job, but finding out how to make the job that you have better for yourself and in a way that you can provide more value to your employer or to a client. And that way you are compensated more fairly. Perhaps you are looking for more responsibility at your work. This will also help you do that. So it's not a one size, or it is a one size fits all kind of class, but you can take away different things from what I present to you. So with that also being said, we do have a class that comes before this called Education for Better Work. It is available to you on the website, on our Google Grounded Leader Academy website, which I'll be showcasing at the end of this presentation. And that way you can go and take advantage of those resources if you have not yet taken that class. This class does build upon Education for Better Work, but it can also be used as a standalone resource. So without further ado, let's get started. Our first steps for owning your job. And when I say that, I mean taking total responsibility for your job, right? The first is to do a great job. And the second is to make sure everyone knows about it. Okay. It's really important to take responsibility for your current situation. This is called taking ownership. The reason I believe your job search needs to begin with taking ownership is because no one wants you to get a better job more than you do. It will require you to make extraordinary efforts to get a better job, and no one can do it for you. If you're currently employed, you need to take ownership of your current job. Be the best employee at work. Start going above and beyond, even if you don't feel like it. And this is going to help you do two things. Number one, it's going to give you an attitude adjustment, as we've already discussed. You need a better attitude before you get a better job. And number two, it will give you something to talk about during interviews in the next few months. Recruiters and hiring managers want to know what you've done at your previous jobs. And if you say that you didn't really like your previous job and you just need a better job, you need more money, so on and so forth, these surface level needs, which may be true, like they may be true to you, but it reflects poorly on you, not the previous employer. Okay. That second step of making sure everyone knows about it, this will also help you stand out at your current job and become known as an expert at your job role. You know, many skills are transferable. So with that being said, the skills that you develop at your current job, even if you're not getting paid what you want to be paid for it, even if it's not where you see yourself long term, those skills that you are developing here and now can go with you and help you get into a better job. Now we're going to break down these two steps to make them more actionable. The first one, doing a great job, does seem very straightforward, but exceeding expectations at work is sometimes more difficult than you may think, especially if you are already feeling overworked or demoralized at your work. So, in order to do this, identify one aspect of your current job where you can go above and beyond expectations. Usually, this will require you to focus on something that you're already skilled at. You can begin taking on more responsibility and developing new skills over time. But if you want to do something right now, you find that one thing or one aspect of your job that you really can go above and beyond at doing, and then start doing that. Furthermore, you need to implement a strategy or an improvement that demonstrates your commitment to excellence. Again, that goes back to our attitude adjustment. Adjusting your attitude so that you are looking for opportunities to show your commitment to your current job. Now, while you do that at your place of work, you want to make sure that everyone knows about it. And that doesn't mean just the people at your work, right? Because if you are trying to position yourself to get a better job somewhere else, then doing a great job at work and then going home and doing nothing, that's not going to help you get a better job. So, making sure everyone knows about it is about strategic self-promotion. Developing a plan to communicate your accomplishments effectively within and outside of your workplace. Now, what you can do most easily, you can utilize the team meetings, the emails, and other appropriate channels to share your achievements and contributions with your colleagues and supervisors. And then you want to document those. And that way you have something to take with you when you begin that self-promotion work. And we'll actually be going into a little bit more detail on how we're going to do that here at the end of this presentation. This class, all 6 weeks, is designed to help you do both of these things: exceed expectations at work and strategically self-promote so that people, again, inside and outside your workplace, are knowing how good of a job or how great of a job you're doing. Now, it's at this point where I have to make this caveat. For those of you who do not have a job currently, if you don't have a job, then you need to take ownership of getting a job. This goes for both currently employed and unemployed job seekers. Finding a job can feel like a job in and of itself. So really, you will need to get used to working all the time. I mentioned before, if you're doing that great job at work and then you go home and you are idle and not using all of your time, then you won't see the results that you want to see. This is because there are other people putting in that work, taking ownership of their situation, and they will rise to the top. Okay. This brings us to the overarching theme of this class. This is something that you're going to see every single week. And when we talk about priorities, you have to understand that your priority and the priority of your family has to be selfish. Your first priority has to be about you all. It has to be about becoming self-reliant, caring for yourself and your family. We have to build where we stand first. before we can begin to build outward or build up the kingdom. So this is where I'm going to ask you to stay grounded. This is your first priority. It needs to be taking care of yourself and your family. Remember that no one else wants you to get a better job more than you do. People who are not helping you build a better future for you and your family need to move down on your list of priorities. Now, unfortunately, for some people, this could be members of their own family. Maybe not helping you build a better future for you and your future family, right? A spouse and children and so on. And so you have to make those hard decisions on who you listen to and who you include in the most important aspects of your life right now, which is improving yourself and improving your situation for the long term. Now, in our Education for Better Work class, we talked about this poem by Robert Frost. It's The Road Not Taken. And I want to revisit it. You know, many people, they look back on life and they have regrets about not taking action on certain ambitions. It's really important that you take action right now and have zero regrets about the things within your control. And I'm telling you that you have 100% control of your life. But taking the road less traveled is hard. It is going to feel lonely and at times very difficult. Some of you have already experienced feelings of anger and injustice and anxiety about your job search. But you'll have to trust me that you're on the right road. These feelings, they show you and they show others that you are serious about improving yourself, that it's not something that you're willing to settle for. Okay. So that's very important to remember. Now, this class, as we wrap up this presentation, this class is going to be structured with a weekly group meeting like this. Again, generally only 20 minutes of presentation, some time for Q&A, question and answer at the end. And today, our question and answer is probably going to go a little bit longer because I know many of you have questions. And then you're going to have a weekly homework assignment that you're going to work on. You'll have those resources sent to you and available to you. And then we'll be working on an ongoing project, if you will, or an ongoing activity throughout this entire 6 weeks. So this week's homework is to complete the training module titled, Do I Really Need a Better Job? And it's found on our Google website, which again, I'll be showing not only here on screen how to get there, but I'll be actually sending it to you all in email. And so you don't have to scramble for a pen and paper or something like that. I can send that to you in email, and that way you have instant access to the website with all the resources. It's very important that you make a copy of any of these documents that you are given access to in order to edit them, because we share all of these master documents with all members of the class. You have to go and follow the instructions to make a copy of it, and then you'll be able to edit them. But if you try to edit them right now, it'll say that you don't have permission. Okay. Again, if you have any questions about that, please let me know. The second is this 6-week strategic networking activity. And you'll also access this in the same place. It's called the 15-10-2 method. And if you so choose, which I highly encourage you to do, attend our LinkedIn Live meeting this Wednesday. That's 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, that is very early in the morning for most of the people on this call. So the recording is going to be available on my LinkedIn profile. You do not have to attend it in person. I encourage you to get your rest unless for some reason you are on a modified schedule and you would be awake at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, your time. For some of you, it's going to be absolutely in the middle of the night. Others, it will be very early in the morning. Please don't feel pressured to attend this in person because, again, it will be recorded and available for forever. So don't stress about that. I'm pretty sure, yep, this little slide actually has our previous dates from before we had to move back our weekly meetings 1 week. So this week is actually January 13th, but it's our kickoff meeting that we've now done. Next week, which is actually going to be this next Saturday, the 20th, we are going to have our second group meeting in which we are going to focus on more of these principles of doing a better job and making sure everyone knows about it. Okay. Again, I went over the 6-week structure, and that brings us to a little bit of question and answer time. So feel free to either come off mute or raise your hands, and we'll go around and talk a little bit before our time runs out here.
Okay, greetings, sir. Greetings, everyone. Please, can you all hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, all right. Once again, I want to thank you, sir, for giving me this privilege, to join your session and equally learn.
Of course, we're glad to have you. Okay, well, Amanda, I see that your hand is raised as well. Go ahead and come off mute if you have any questions, any insights to add.
Hey,
Good morning where you are. It's afternoon where I am right now. I wanted to ask about wanting to get a better job. Currently, I have a job and I'd like to be promoted soon, hopefully. But I find myself being anxious and also um overwhelmed with having to do more work and having to show myself in a more appealing light to my bosses and my supervisors. So I wanted to know how I could maybe manage that, or if you have any advice concerning managing and not feeling too burnt out. This is not me saying work shouldn't be done, but at least there's always pressure on my end and anxiety on my end. So I don't know if you have any insights on that.
That's a great question. That's a great point. Um, absolutely. So as you work on this, making everyone aware of how hard you're working, it can be intimidating. And it can also feel that even your best efforts go unnoticed. And it depends on the kind of culture, the environment that you're working in. If there is an environment where managers and leaders and even colleagues don't express appreciation for one another, then your strategic self-promotion can fall on those deaf ears at your place of work. And that's when you really will have to ramp up the, the networking and the reaching out to people and collaborating with other people outside your place of work. That's going to be, again, difficult to do if you're feeling so burnt out at your current job. I began the Grounded Leader Academy at a time when I wasn't having a lot of fun at my current job, my day job, right? And so I wanted to do something that would edify me, uplift me, and also uplift other people. I don't collect any income for this self-reliance class initiative or the Grounded Leader Academy at all. So perhaps finding a way to uplift yourself and add to the quality of your life outside your job with something that it does contribute to your professional skills and your knowledge. I've learned so much about, collaborating with other people. I've had the opportunity to meet incredible people throughout my projects with the Grounded Leader Academy. And so that's also an option, right? Finding time to give back, whether within your community or even a global community, because we have that blessing through the internet, through LinkedIn, especially, and maybe finding a way to bring your spirits up in that way. Now you tell me if I answered that question or if I'm just talking nonsense.
No, no, you did. You did. I get your point a lot. So thank you very much.
Of course, thank you. Mr. Kingsford, go right ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, can you hear me?
I can. We can.
Thank you. It's so great to be a part of this self-reliance group, and I'm ready to learn. Currently, I'm not working, but I want to know if in this class we will talk about how to optimize our profiles on LinkedIn so that we can reach more employers. I tried getting in touch with someone, but the person wanted to charge me before helping me to optimize my profile to reach others. And I want to know if in this class we will talk about that as well. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. I just changed my screen over to the Grounded Leader Academy website. It's a Google website. And again, don't scramble to write down all of these letters and numbers up here. I will be sending this out to each of you in an email just after this session ends. But to answer your question, we actually go a little bit more in detail with that in our Education for Better Work class. And so if you go to the self-reliance class and course pages, you have Education for Better Work right here. And you can actually go through and complete this entire course for free. You don't have to enroll in it unless you want to include me. It'll notify me that you've enrolled. But as you work through that, you'll actually be able to get to the week 4, which you can actually just jump to week 4 in that course. Week number 4 is optimizing your LinkedIn profile. It has a pretty in-depth rundown of all the things that you want to do to optimize it. And so I would encourage you to do that. If you'd like, you can reach out to me directly and I can send you the link to all of that information. You can do that on LinkedIn. Okay. And of course, it's completely free. Mr. Ifa, it looks like you're back with us.
Yes, I'm back. The network, logged me out. Okay, all right. So, like I was saying, when I tried joining the program initially, before now, one of the challenges I had then was how to navigate the assignments, like pulling out the assignments to do it differently and submitting, the assignments. So now that I've come back, to, start the program again, I just wanted to know how, I can have a flexible way of, grabbing the assignments and probably having to do it with my Microsoft Word, application. Then now, exporting or sending the assignment back to, your platform, for submission. That's one. Then secondly, I wanted to know, does the Grounded Leader Academy have alumni group on LinkedIn, possibly for networking? Is it on LinkedIn or is it on WhatsApp? I mean, what's the best platform for us to have instant communication and all of that? Thank you.
Yeah. So the first answer to the first question brings us over to the Google website. So finding a better job, I've added this little tab to the home menu tab. And so if you go down and hit finding a better job, this is the class resources. And this is updated each week, really at the time of our class meeting. And so you can come here when you receive this. Again, I'll be emailing this link, but you can bookmark this page. And then these are the ways that you get access to the weekly assignments and so on and so forth. Just to show you, it does take you to a Google document. And then the instructions are very simple. You're going to file, make a copy, renaming the file. And that way you can actually complete the activity. So you go up here to file, you make a copy, and then you just save it to your personal Google Drive. And that way you can complete the activities. Then you email or share the document with me for credit or for feedback and so on and so forth. So that's a very easy way to do that now. And then in your welcome email that I sent all of you just this week, at the very bottom, you can actually see where you have a Grounded Leader network, and that is a LinkedIn page or LinkedIn group. And many people have already joined that because of the email that I sent out. But that is a great place to, come together with like-minded individuals, other people who have either taken the self-reliance class or are enrolled in the self-reliance class currently, and you can interact with them, network with them, and so on. I'll be honest, there's not very many people in there right now because it was just created. So when you go in and you see that there's only 10 or 15 people, hopefully we will grow that. And of course, all of you are welcome to invite people to that group as we grow it. So, and then the last part of the question was, what way is best to communicate with me directly? And it's going to be 100%. It's going to be LinkedIn, just private messages, or it's going to be email back to that Grounded Leader Academy Gmail account that I emailed all of you from. So I think that answered all parts of your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It answered all the questions. Thank you so much, sir, for that detailed information.
Of course. We only have maybe it's 4 more minutes on our meeting. Does anyone else have any questions or any insights?
Okay. So our meeting spans for how many minutes? 30 minutes or 1 hour?
These meetings, generally, the presentation portion will never really be more than 20 to 25 minutes. I always give 5 to 10 minutes at the end for maybe a little bit of interaction like this. But I've always said that these classes, they're too big and they're too informal for us to really do anything in the Zoom meeting. And that's why I offer that one-on-one interaction with me. And so anything that you want to focus on and get a little bit deeper and go a little bit further, please reach out and say, I really want to talk about this aspect of what we discussed. And then as long as you are patient with me, and patient, as sometimes we're on different time zones, we can work together on anything that you'd like to work on.
Okay, thank you so much for willing to walk us through, even outside our normal meeting days or something. We are so grateful for that, sir.
Of course. Well, we are coming up on the end of our meeting time. Again, if any of you either didn't have the opportunity to speak out or you want to ask a question, you can do so through those channels that I mentioned. I really encourage everyone to connect with one another on LinkedIn through that Grounded Leader Network. This email that I'm going to send out to all of you within the next 15 minutes, it'll have access to this Grounded Leader Academy website where you can access all of the resources. And it'll also have that link to the LinkedIn group for you to join if you wish to. So I hope all of you have a great week. Please work on your weekly assignment and start looking at this 15, 10, and 2 method training and look for more detailed instructions on that activity later on this week on LinkedIn, which I'll also be sending all of that out to you as it becomes available.
Okay, so sir, please, this meeting, I suppose is recorded. Please, how can I access this recorded version of the meeting after now?
It's actually going to be available on this website. And so once you receive that link, I think I can put it right here under this week 1 or maybe above the week 1 assignment. And that way you have instant access to it. And it'll be a YouTube link. So
okay,
it'll be accessible on YouTube.
okay. All right, that's
Okay.
fine, sir. All right, sir.
Well, all of you have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, sir. Bye. Wish you same too,
Bye.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Network. Bye.